Cemeteries, the final destination of our physical bodies, but it's better to bury the concept of a place of eternal rest. In a world of trials and atonements, cemeteries are places of heavy vibrational density, heavy energies, energetic unhealthiness. And the reason for this, for the most part, comes from the excessive materialism of the incarnated. This attachment to matter, or dependence on the physical plane, can cause serious problems at the moment of death. Some discarnate spirits, the vast majority due to lack of spiritual knowledge, simply do not accept or do not understand the separation from their physical bodies. They become obsessed with the fantasy of having them back. In these cases, the connection with the dead body is so strong that fluidic cords, mental threads, extend from the spirit's perispirit, attaching to the corpse, decomposing in the ground. Thus, everything that happens to the body is reflected onto the astral body of these beings in a process called ideoplasty, which is the action of thought upon matter. As a result, the perispirit ends up resembling the putrefied body, cadaveric form, decayed, fetid wounds, sometimes dismembered, bones and muscles exposed, like zombies from a horror movie. These are mental creations, but made of highly toxic mental matter generated by thought. All over the planet, there is an astral soil superimposed on the physical ground. In cemeteries as well, some of these rebellious spirits simply kneel and literally dig into this astral ground, trying to reach their bodies in the graves, sometimes entering even denser dimensions of very dark vibrations. These beings, so materialized, end up losing all control over their emotions and thoughts. Other wandering spirits in cemeteries are those who still feel cold, hunger and thirst, even after death. Also, through ideoplasty, they project onto their astral bodies the physical sensations of a living body, for they simply do not consider themselves dead. They begin to lose weight until they become skeletal, as happens in severe cases of malnutrition. An illusion self-imposed by minds in deep imbalance. There is another group of discarnate spirits who do not accept the separation from the body. They are the pathological narcissists, those who live to worship their own bodies in an exaggerated, obsessive, and unhealthy way. They live for plastic surgery, diets, various aesthetic procedures, their entire existence revolving around their own appearance, a kind of self-veneration. If they die young, the situation gets even worse. It's not fair, and all that I spent, all the surgeries, for nothing. My body was so beautiful, so perfect. I need it back. These spirits become extremely attached to the physical body and also end up projecting everything that happens to the dead body onto themselves through ideoplasty. In this case, in particular, they witness in their astral bodies the complete destruction of their beloved physical bodies by worms. It is their worst nightmare, becoming a terrifying reality. Some wander through cemeteries, mouths open in a silent scream, with worms entering and leaving their bodies' orifices by the thousands. Everything can be projected onto the astral body, a terrible creation of spirits in deep imbalance, but for them, it is something very real. Yes, the harsh reality is that we create our own hells. Poor souls wandering by the thousands through all the cemeteries on the planet, unnoticed by the vast majority of the living. But the situation would be much worse without the invaluable help of protective spirits, spiritual guardians who work tirelessly in cemeteries, popularly known as Exus Caveira. But far from being spirits of darkness, as many believe, these are beings of light, spirits like us, also subject to reincarnation, who sometimes take on this sinister appearance, perhaps to help with their difficult mission. The Exus Caveira, or guardian spirits, the name or form in which they present themselves does not matter, are the front line of spirituality, the shock troops of the astral. They are like psychologists, talking to the discarnate trapped in cemeteries in mental confusion, trying to show them the path of light, teaching them how to leave and continue on their evolution. But they are also security guards, relentless in protecting these defenseless deceased. No matter how confused and lost they are, these spirits attached to matter are targets of the greed of black magicians, sorcerers of the shadows, and evil spirits in general. The reason is ectoplasm, the spiritual energy of our bodies, accumulated in abundance in the so-called etheric double, a kind of electric copy of our material body. This etheric double takes about 40 days to dissolve in the atmosphere. This ectoplasm, this energy is fuel, food, and even currency in the lower astral. Some spirits are so eager for this substance that they take on the appearance of vampires, which is what they actually are, even projecting frightening fangs. Black magicians also always try to capture these suffering spirits. In their laboratories of darkness, they develop viruses and bacteria in the lower astral, using these beings as guinea pigs. These viruses and bacteria are then inserted into our dimension, materializing as new and terrible diseases in the physical plane. Black magicians or sorcerers of the shadows can also kidnap one of these lost spirits and attach it to an incarnated enemy. Yes, they can take a putrefied spirit from the cemetery and link it to a living human being to drain their vital energy, which can even lead to death. This is one of the most common forms of so-called black magic, which unfortunately is very real. The Exus Caveira are not limited to protecting the discarnate trapped in cemeteries from the actions of these black magicians. They also work to eliminate the terrible mental creations of lost spirits shaped by ideoplasty. They cleanse these places, purifying the graves and bodies, thus enabling the rescue of these spirits so they can be sent to astral hospitals. Without the work of the Exus Caveira or guardians, the cemeteries of the world would be free territory for dark beings. This account was partially taken from a very informative lecture given by the medium Pedro Augusto, who has a channel here on YouTube. It's worth checking out.